What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Lumsden Motorsports Garage. I'm Wade Lumsden. Today I'm going to go after the shift kit for the Turbo 400 for the Tuff Truck. I just got this Transgo. I think it's the 400-3. Yeah, 400-3. This kit is supposed to basically just turn the automatic transmission into a manual shift. So that it won't shift up, won't shift down unless you move the lever, which I think is what I want for my Tuff Truck. We'll see. That's what I'm going to do anyways. But basically, I'm just going to try to follow the instructions to the best of my ability. I know that there is some springs and stuff that need to be changed. I think there's a governor lockout and stuff like that. So again, I'm just going to follow the work instructions as much as I can. Here I got a set of work instructions. I know they call out for like do things for high performance or whatever. I think I finally found some information on that engine, and it's like 370 or 350 horses with 400 foot-pounds of torque or something like that, something in that ballpark. So I don't think I have to do the high horsepower changes that calls out in the instructions, but yeah, I'm gonna see what I can get done here. I'm not a transmission guy, but I'll see what I can do. Alrighty, so first things first, I actually had flat surfaces catch everything, right? So clean this off to have a clean work surface on. I got some clean rags, I got a case of brake clean, I got some basic hand tools, I have that. I am gonna have to find drill bits to do my drilling out of the mid plate. You guys will see that. I don't know if this is gonna be like a step-by-step, because there's a lot of guys out there that have actually pretty decent step-by-steps on how to do this, but I think some of it'll be in time-lapse, some of it'll be me giving updates and all that happy stuff. But here's our Turbo 400. I'm going to pull the torque converter out, get it set to the side, put some rags in it, make sure nothing gets in it, and then I need to make sure that it is empty. This yoke on the this Turbo 400 is solid right here, right? So when we pulled it out, like, it didn't lose fluid, so I'm sure it's still full of fluid, so we'll get it emptied out, and then I'll clean up around the edges and stuff. Really, okay, so again, I'm not a transmission guy, but I do know when you do transmission work, you really should be in like a clean room environment, because like the slightest bit of dust or dirt or whatever that you get in your valve body will mess things up. But I'm just gonna do with what I got. Again, I'm not at my garage, I'm not at my house. I couldn't you guys haven't seen it, but I couldn't work on a motorcycle. Actually, I will go as far to say as I couldn't work on a bicycle in my garage right now. So things have happened in there. It looks like a tornado's gone off, but seriously, just gonna do the best that I can, as quick as I can, and get this thing put together. But importantly, clean surface to work on, and I think there's going to be some hammering and some drilling required, so it's good to have the space. But okay, torque converter out, set to the side, and get the transmission up here, get it drained, and go from there. Alrighty, pulled the dipstick tube and dipstick fluid started coming out. It was full. I always forget how much fluid just the transmission holds in these things. So for the most part, I got it drained as much as I can, basically by myself, without, you know, bear hugging it and shaking it upside down and opening up other holes. So now I'm gonna hopefully get it flipped over, and start yanking some stuff off. Okay, new day. I got as far as getting the pan off, and got a phone call and I had to leave. So that was yesterday, and now it's a new day, and we're gonna come back and try to get this thing done. It honestly shouldn't take that long, but like I said, I'm not a tranny guy. So my estimation is really it shouldn't take me more than an hour, I hope. We're about to find out, but the weather's fairly decent, and like I said, you want to keep it clean, so you know, dust is down, all that stuff. Since we're doing this outside, now's my opportunity, so let's rock and roll. Well, guys, I had to go get a filter because there wasn't one in the kit that I got. And I don't know if you saw my frustrations, or I don't know. I don't remember what you guys were focused in on when I was trying to do this, but I ended up having lots of frustrations because there were lots of parts called out in the work instructions here, like these valve kits. So I had, you know, the 1-2 shift valve, but the 2-3 shift valve wasn't in the kit, and the 3-2 shift valve wasn't in the kit. And then down here, it told me to put in a spring. I was able to put in the spring, but down here it tells you to put in another spring, and I didn't have that in the kit. And yeah, and it just kind of, it got frustrating because there was a lot of stuff in the work instructions that weren't in the kit. So yeah, hopefully it wasn't just because things were missing in the kit. Hopefully it was because, I'm assuming here, this was a kit specifically to make this a manual shift. I strongly believe that the only thing that was required for me to make this a manual shift was back here is where you access the governor, right there. And it had 2 lockout springs that lock the weights open. Granted, I'm not the best transmission guy here, but I know that for a transmission to shift, the hydraulic pressure has to overcome the spring pressure, I think, or it's either it has to overcome the spring pressure or it has to overcome the governor pressure. I don't remember which, but anyways, the hydraulic pressure has to overcome one of the pressures to get it to shift to the next gear, right? Well, if you lock out the governor, it doesn't allow for anything to overcome one or the other, whichever way it is. Again, this wasn't exactly a how-to. This is just me, you know, putting together. There's a lot of guys out there that did a nice how-to. Go look those up for sure. But right now, I'm going to put that filter into there. I'm going to close this up. I'm going to get my torque converter installed back in here. I'm going to make sure I get the 3 things, right? When you put in a torque converter, there's 3 things that have to be engaged. You engage the pump, you engage impeller, and I think it's called a stator inside it. Anyways, so I'll make sure I feel the 3 clicks and the 3 drops and get it in there. I'm going to get this thing rolled back over, and then I think maybe the next step is going to be mating this thing to a big block. Right on. Well, I got it on its side. I'm gonna swap these out. I think, I'm almost positive that this is the same thread as what came out of that Ford transmission. I cleaned one up. Chris was in there getting me an O-ring for it to seal it, but the other one I dropped it into the bucket. That is, that full. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going fishing. You do that without getting oil on your hands. Oh yeah? Yeah. Yeah? How?
Hey Bryn, come here and grab this fitting, would you?
I mean, I guess that's one way to do it, is to have somebody else do it. Of course, it's aluminum, so I can't even go fishing in there with a magnet. Okay, guys. Come to find out, that one didn't screw in directly into there, but it did screw into the fittings that were already on it. So, right on. Got my torque converter in, and over here, sitting on the ground, here is the big block. Here's my flex plate, and I got some bolts and stuff. Gonna get the flex plate bolted on, and then I'm gonna try to mate up this transmission. Main goal main goal right now is to get it mated and get it shoved into the truck cavity area. I don't have the exact plan on motor mounts and tranny mount and stuff like that, so really I just want to make sure that it's going to fit and see if there is anything else that needs to be removed or modified or anything like that. So yeah, maybe that's not the best way, but that's what I'm gonna do. Mate the transmission and try to shove it in there and mock it up, maybe with some straps and jack stands and blocks and things like that, and see if it's even gonna fit in the hole that we've made for it, basically, and go from there. So I'll come back to you guys after I have that thing in that thing. Yeah, I wonder if I can find some help or if I'm going to be doing this by myself. We'll see. Okay, hit a snag. This here flex plate came off of a 2 rear piece main seal big block, and I need a 1 piece rear main seal big block. They do have different external weights on them. Big blocks are externally balanced, so I guess instead what I'm gonna do is, yeah, I gotta go buy one. Unfortunately, nowhere in town here has one, so I have to drive back to Reno and get myself get myself a flex plate. I had plenty of time to do a bunch of stuff today if things were just gonna roll, but I hate hitting a roadblock like that. I think I'm gonna end the video here, guys. Sun's starting to go down behind me. Actually, it's beautiful. Can you guys see that? The desert sunsets, desert skies, you know, can't go wrong. Hope that comes out good in the video. But with that being said, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Any questions, comments, concerns down below. Yeah, I'm just hoping to try to get this thing done in a decent amount of time. So we'll see you guys next video. Peace.